Welcome to A Simple Life. We may have just killed our first gopher. The funny part is, I was just talking to Christine today about how I want to feed the gophers and not kill the gophers. And I may have killed the gopher after I decided I didn't want to kill gophers. Okay, let's take a look. I'll show you what I got. The trap has been set off, and you can see that this has been pushed, but there's not a lot of soil right here, so that's what makes me think I might have gotten. Yeah, I think I got one. I'm kind of sad. I spent this whole time hating this gopher, and now I'm sad. And let me explain why I had a little bit of a change of heart about killing the gophers. Is I told Christine, I don't plan on treating this property like I'm at war with Mother Nature, even though I've talked about how farming is basically you're at war with Mother Nature. I actually want to feed Mother Nature. I want to feed the environment. And I'm hoping that while feeding the environment will also feed me. And I know that sounds super hippy dippy. Listen, the whole way that we've farmed since we moved to the country was trying our best to work with nature, using animals to do what machinery could do. And it's not because I'm against using fossil fuels, or I'm against using tractors, or I'm against any of that. It's more, I just think there's better ways. You know, 400 years ago, it was very common to use mercury to cure your belly aches. Mercury, we all know that's very poisonous. Now we use radiation to cure cancer, or to prevent cancer from spreading, or to deal with it. And I'm not saying I'm against that. That's not it at all. I just think that sometimes we just don't know what we're doing. And when I see nature do its thing, and it just does it, and there's no intervention from man, and you know, animals graze, animals feed. You go to Alaska and watch the wildlife in Alaska, and it'll just open your eyes to seeing how much is just done when there's just no human intervention. So I know I'm about to dig up probably a dead gopher, and I'm a little sad about it, because I was just talking with Christine that, you know, killing the gophers is not something that is actually, even though I'm very angry that he keeps eating my potatoes, it's not something that I technically really want to do. And so I told Christine, I go, you know, I'm really going to see if I can't feed the gophers in other places, because it's not like I don't want them to do their aeration. I don't want them to, you know, have a happy life. I just don't want them to do it in my potatoes. And so I realized that I need to take a different approach to how I'm going to farm this property, if I'm going to do it the way that I really feel it needs to be done. And once again, this isn't like me trying to come up with some hippie way of farming. This is just what I believe. You know, I can either spend my whole life running around killing everything, or I can try to spend my whole life building things. And so far I've spent my life doing a little bit of both. And so, and anybody that knows me knows I hunt and I eat meat, and you know, we do our thing, you know, and I have no qualms about it. But at the same time, do I want to spend my time setting traps to kill gophers, or do I want to spend my time feeding the gophers on other parts of the property where they have more feed and they'll be happier with that feed? I don't know. I'm just been thinking about it. So let's dig up this gopher, and if there's no gopher down there, then I'm sad I didn't get one. And if there is a gopher, I'm a little sad I killed one. I know, the dichotomy of that. Okay, let's get this done. But it's a big boy, I can tell already. It's big, it's huge. You ready for it, boys? A little sad and a little happy at the same time, I know. How is that? So much damage, and all the little bugger wanted to do was eat. I know. Life. So many times it's nowhere close to black and white. Alright, we're gonna go check on the goats. We'll see you guys up there. Well, we are up here. We are going to do some work on the canopy. And the dogs are having some snacks. So if you hear some snarling and general ruckus, it's just the dogs balancing out who gets what part of meat scraps and all that kind of good stuff, because We give you guys some good stuff, don't we? Say yes, we do. Yes. Oh man, you really, look at her. She's really coming to her own. You're really coming to your own, Reba. Yes, don't jump on me, thank you. All right, let's see if we can find our goats. Well, I think she is going to tell us where the goats are at. I can see the goats are down there. We're gonna do a little canopy work today. The reason for doing canopy work today is the area that the goats have been in is pretty much done, and I'll go show you that. We moved them into it about a week or two ago. When we moved them into that, this area was completely eaten down, okay? So it's been about 2.5 weeks. Now look what's happened. This was all completely eaten down, okay? There was nothing here. All these fresh shoots on this blackberry, none of those were there. You can see the hazelnut has started sprouting new leaves up there. None of those were there. This hawthorn had no leaves on it at all. It's really crazy once these shrubs, we're gonna call them shrubs, are established, what they can do when they just get a couple weeks of pressure released off of them. Now, if I put my goats back in here, they may actually kill some of these off permanently. I have no plans of putting my goats right back in here. That's not the plan at all. The plan would actually be to take a look at some of these other areas and start giving them forage in other areas. So this is the area that I opened up to them a couple weeks ago. And remember, when I opened this up, you pretty much couldn't really walk through here. There wasn't really much space in here to walk. And you can see how much they've kind of trimmed out all the blackberry and nibbled off a lot of the leaves. There's still some, but not much. And I'm not gonna close this off. I'm gonna leave this open to them because there's still food in here for them. And the canopy here is actually, to be, in my opinion, is actually pretty good. I actually like this canopy. You have a lot of good Doug firs. You have some really tall oaks. I love the tall oaks. I have no problem with oak stands. I have no problem with mixed in oaks or maples, as long as they're not eating up more canopy than they should be allotted. And what I mean by that is a Doug fir, let's say, eats up 15 by 15 swath of canopy. And a big leaf maple eats up a 45 by 45, but it's one tree. The way I think about it is that's a waste of canopy space. I can open that up by removing some of that maple, and that Doug fir can then grow bigger. And now I have bigger Doug firs, which I make money off of. And so that's kind of how I look at that. I kind of look at it as wasted money. Now you can see the goats aren't not grazing in here. These guys are really young, but man, they got everything they need. Oh, and there's Bucky. There's Bucky, our young buck. He will be part of the herd for the rest of his life, hopefully. And I mean, if you look at his horn formation and everything, he's going to be a outstanding looking buck. I mean, I want you to get an idea. He's only 6 months old. So Cotton's no slouch. There's Cotton right there, and you can see Cotton's no slouch when it comes to his horns. I mean, he's certainly not a slouch. I mean, he's got quite the nice horn base on him. I mean, he's very, especially for being a 1.5 year old buck. I mean, he's very beautiful, and he has wattles. I never knew he had wattles. In a previous video, I was talking with the boys, and the boys said, well, one of the babies have long ears and one has short ears, and one has wattles and one doesn't. And I made a comment about having 2 dads. That was not a political comment. That was actually a truthful comment. If you look, he has long ears and wattles. He has short ears and no wattles. And the babies matched that mix. Now the mom could have very easily had influenced part of that. I'm not saying it was one way or the other. What I'm saying is to explain it to my boys was there's a possibility that mom got bred by both of them, and she had one baby from each of them. And this is one of our moms that had triplets. And look, she's got all 3 babies with them, and they're doing great. This is our other mom that had triplets, and she's got 2 of her babies. One of the babies is with us, and they're doing great. And then we got 3 babies over here. 1, 2, 3. and 2 babies over there. You can see these little guys are doing excellent. We're gonna have to go through and we're gonna have to band really quick before we can't catch any of them. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here, we're gonna find a place, and we're gonna do some work. I'm not gonna go crazy. Today was a hot day, it's 91 degrees. It's high humidity, we are not in extreme drought. So I don't know when this video will come out, but we are not in an extreme drought. So I am very aware of the fire threats and everything that we get in the Pacific Northwest when it comes to this time of year, when it gets dry. So I think the area we're gonna work is going to be right back over here. There's a bunch of cherry trees and they really aren't doing a heck of a lot for us. And so we are going to take those out. The oaks, I leave them. Matter of fact, that's a cherry. I'm gonna leave that. And the reason I'm gonna leave that cherry and not the other ones, spotted shade. This gives my animals some shade up here. If you do a job for me, you're pretty much safe. You got my helmet? Oh, good. Hey, Rebus. Thank you, boys. So I'll show you what I got done, okay? So I opened up this bit right here. I just took out a couple, maybe 6 little leads. I cleaned up some of the Doug firs that were hanging up on the other Doug firs. So now that little Doug fir right there actually has a chance to do something. I'll come in and take down those cherries at another point. I'm not gonna worry about those right now. And there's some cherries back there. We're still not worried about those. I came in back here so I could drop some maples in here, and we have a lot of cherry. This whole hillside right here is almost all cherry, okay? So this whole hillside's gonna come out. There is a lot of really good wild hazelnut in here. I'm gonna leave those and pollard them with the idea that I want them to come back bushier, but I'm not gonna pollard them right now. I'll wait until like the very end of summer, maybe early fall, before the leaves fall to do it, or maybe even into winter, but most likely while they still have leaves on. The reason for that is I don't want them to die. I don't want to put them in a shock right now and take everything off of them. The cherry trees I don't really care about. So I really kind of want the cherry trees to die. I really don't want them sprouting back. I'm sure some of them will, but that's not what I'm doing here. I really would like to have oaks and Doug fir in here. This is a great area for oaks and Doug fir. It's kind of the bottom. We don't have a stream or anything like that here, but we get really good moisture retention, and I'm hoping to get better moisture retention over time. Now, I know I'm exposing a lot of the soil to the sun, but here's the deal. This soil is already bare, and this is not bare because my goats were in here. This is bare because there is nothing growing here other than ferns. While the ferns do a really good job around here for keeping soil in place,
there's not enough ferns here to do that. So I'm having soil erosion happen whether I like it or not. So taking out the cherry trees is not going to hurt that. Matter of fact, it's actually going to help, because the cherry trees are just going to bud more cherry trees, and they have a very small root system. Basically anything other than a tree will hold soil much better. But I'm not looking for tree roots, I'm looking for sod, root systems that hold my soil, my minerals, all that good stuff here on the property. So by getting sun in here, it's going to promote life. Now, I'll probably have blackberries starting here, but that's okay. We'll come through, we'll start broadcasting some seed and stuff here in the fall. I plan on broadcasting a lot of seed in the fall. And so as we get into that and we start getting some seed broadcasted in some of these areas that we're really trying to build up some sod, some grass, some variety of what's growing. Even in this wooded area, I would like to have that. It's not for the goats as much as just for the land. If you build good soil, you'll have good growing plants, which means you'll have good eating animals. In turn, I will eat better because my animals will be healthier because they'll be getting the minerals and everything they need from the earth. Yeah, I know that was a mouthful. That's why I'm clearing this. I'm also, like I said, the cherry trees are a bit of a trash tree. They just keep growing and reproducing. They give me no fruit. They give me nothing but more of them. And I don't need a self-reproducing trash machine. Yeah. So anyways, goats are doing great. They're gonna be plenty happy. They really do know what's up. We'll come in here over the next couple days, week, and clear out more of this and just keep working our way through the 40 acres. Now, not all 40 acres have this type of issue, but all 40 acres need work in it. And so we're just gonna slowly work through the 40 acres, you know, a day at a time. Thank you so much for joining us today on A Simple Life. Appreciate you guys stopping by, spending time with us, and hopefully you enjoyed yourself. Have a good one. Bye.